Hello everyone, welcome back, Severtus here, coming back with part 8 of What If Nagito Was in My Hero Academia. Now, where we last left off, Nagito has got his new arm, which is looking like this, and it's have, four forms: the power form, and the shooting form that in the middle, and the last one, which is, I mean, the third one, which is the blade form, and another one which is the shield form, which is this. And after he got his new arm, he have gone into the what they call it, yes, the internships, as he got with the internship for the random hero Domino, which is looking like this. And after he and Domino got into mission to capture the villain Riddler, Nagito got in his puzzle and managed to solve the three of them. And in the end, he played a little bit of Russian roulette and have win on Riddler and got Domino out of there, and they captured Riddler in the end. And we continue right now. After Nagito has finally done from his internship, they go into UA. As Izuku, Nagito meet with Izuku in front of UA, as he said, "Oh, hey, Izuku," as Izuku said, "Oh, hey, Nagito, good morning," as Nagito said, "Good morning. Well, what are we gonna do today? What do you think?" As Izuku said, "I don't know. I don't really expect anything from today. And I still remember how you last night played that Russian roulette. Are you crazy putting 6 bullets inside the gun and shoot it on your head?" As Nagito said, "Well, I'm lucky. So I needed to survive this. If I couldn't survive a Russian roulette game, then which kind of quirk is this?" As Izuku said, "Yeah, alright." And after that, they get into the class. As Aizawa said, "Well, student, today you have your last exam, which is gonna be a fight. The last exams, the last exam before the training camp." Aizawa said, "You will gonna need to get into the exam area A. Come with me and wear your hero outfits." As everyone coming with Aizawa and Nagito wearing his hero outfit, which is this, and with his left arm being the robot arm, because it's been cut off because of Bakugo. As everyone standing in front of the exam area A, as Nezu come and said, "Well, student, today you are gonna have your final exam, and it will be that two of every both two students will gonna fight against one teacher." As Ida said, "But isn't that you know the last exam supposed to be against robots?" As Nezu said, "Well, that was from the past. Today we decided to go a little bit farther. So every two of you will gonna fight against one teacher, and to make things fair, the teacher will gonna wear some weights." And after that, everyone going against their own teacher. As Nagito said, "Well, the only people that left is me and Izuku. Who are we gonna fight against?" As All Might from behind said, "Well, both of you will gonna fight against me, of course." As they looking behind saying All Might, as Izuku said, "Are we gonna fight All Might?" As All Might said, "What? Are you scared, young Midoriya?" As Nagito said, "Oh, this will gonna be very interesting, don't you think, Midoriya?" As Izuku said, "Alright." And after everyone, doing their own fight, Nagito and Izuku got into the arena. But before Nagito goes there, Momo stand in front of him, as Izuku said, "I'm gonna leave you, Nagito." As Nagito said, "Yeah, please." As Momo stand in front of Nagito, as Nagito said, "What is it now? Don't you see that I'm trying to finish my exam?" As Momo said, Nagito, I'm sorry about what did you heard that day, but really loved you. It was just my father that telling me that I need to marry you, you know." So, as Nagito said, For what? So you can become you. So the company of your father become the first on the world to become the best company that ever existed. Is that what you are telling me to do? Is that why you always were close to me? Is that all what is in the you know? Is that what you all were wanting from me? Just to make me some kind of money back to you to take my company? Is that all what you wanted from me, Momo? I really disappointed in you. I wish that in another time or maybe in another world, maybe you never tried to do something like that and maybe I was actually, you know, still with you, but not in this world. As Momo said, Please, Nagito, but just let us talk," as Nagito said. "I don't talk with traitors like you. People like you disgust me. You remind me of her." As Momo said, "What do you mean her?" As Nagito said, "She were the despair itself. She were everything that I ever hated in one person. Everything that I ever hated and everything that I ever was disgust of. She were the despair itself. When I remember her, I feel that I want to throw up my breakfast. And looking in your eyes is just reminding me of her, so get out of my way, Momo." As Momo said, Nagito, but as Nagito leave. And after that, he got into the arena as Izuku said, "Hey, what's happened there?" As Nagito said, "Let us focus on our exam, Izuku. I don't want to get distracted." As Izuku said, "Hey, don't worry, I'm still with you here." As Nagito said, "And I really appreciate it." And after that, they start the match as Nagito and Izuku are, hiding behind a building. As Nagito said, "Well, what do you think should be the plan?" As Izuku said, "Well, to be honest, I was thinking about, running away." As Nagito said, "Running away, Izuku? Seriously? Let us beat All Might and prove to everyone that we are the strongest in the class." As Izuku said, "Well, alright. How about you know, you distract him and I will gonna go from behind." As Nagito said, "Yeah, that's seemed like a good plan." And after that, they bump fists together. Izuku using full cowling start jumping on the roof to hide from All Might. As Nagito just standing in the middle of the street as he said, "All Might, where are you? Come at me and fight me here. I will gonna prove to you that your power is nothing against my luck." As All Might come in front of him and said, "Ha! What are you doing here, hero? Don't you think that is stupid from you to just standing there?" As Nagito said, "We will see about that." As Nagito putting his left hand in front of him and charge a blast of a green energy as he said, what should its name be? Let's said, wait a second. As he putting his hand in front of him and charge a big blast, a big ball of energy. As All Might said, "We will see if I can dodge this so easily." As Nagito smiled and said, "And who said I'm gonna shoot it on you?" As he raises his hand into the sky and said, "Rain cannon!" After that, he shot the energy ball into the sky, making the sky rain with, grain bullets of energy. As All Might said, "Are you crazy? You will gonna also being hit by it." As Nagito said, "I am lucky. I won't gonna get hit by it. But you." As All Might start trying to dodge the blast. Nagito just standing there, and no bullet have been hitting him so far, as All Might tried to go at him, but every time he tried to do that, he getting hit by another energy blast as he jumped behind to get out of, the rain zone. As he said, "Huh, smart move out of you, Nagito. But can you defeat this?" As he said, "Smash!" and send a shockwave or air blast or air force or whatever at Nagito. Nagito using his shield block this attack, making the air cannon go back at All Might, hitting him directly in his chest, throwing him away. As All Might said, "Huh, interesting. You have such an interesting technology there." As Nagito said, "Well, and you have such a stupid moves, you know." As All Might said, "Are you gonna start with the insults?" As Nagito said, "Instead of focusing on my insult, maybe you should focus on your right." As All Might said, "What?" And after that, from his right, Izuku said, "Smash!" as he throwing a smash directly at All Might face, throwing him away, making him fly into the air. As Nagito getting this chance and said, "K," and said, a blast, as he sent a beam of green energy at All Might, sending him even higher into the sky. Izuku trying, start jumping on the buildings to go and send the air cannon at All Might, but All Might getting hold of himself and said, "Such a good teamwork out of you both, but you didn't defeat me yet." As All Might using his, clap his hand together, send the shockwave at Izuku, throwing him back. Nagito catching him before he fall on the ground, and All Might start falling, saying, "Smash!" as he smashed in front of him. Nagito using his shield to, block the attack of All Might, as he said, "Damn it, he didn't even get affected by it." As Izuku said, "Looks like we need to try harder than that." As All Might said, "Ha ha ha ha. Such a great teamwork out of you heroes, but I'm not being defeated yet." As Nagito said, "Well, it's time for the close range combat." As he closed his fist and create, the energy sword out of his hand. As Izuku said, "You're from the left and I'm from the right." As Nagito said, "Yeah." And after that, Nagito going from the left, going to slash All Might. All Might dodging this attack, but Izuku from the right throwing, an air blast at him. All Might dodging this and catch, the right hand of, Nagito. Nagito trying to stab him, but All Might catching his other hand and said, "Sorry, Nagito, but I'm not gonna get affected by this so easily." As Nagito said, "Are you idiot or something catching my hand?" As after that, Nagito left arm start engulfed with energy, as he said, "I call it overflow." As his hand blew up with, a kind of energy around him, making a little bubble of energy around Nagito, shocking All Might and throwing him away. Izuku getting this chance, throwing his leg into the ground and then making like getting a big rock out of the ground and kick it into the sky, and then Nagito using his a blast energy, throwing it directly at All Might. His All Might putting his hand together to block the attack. After that, Izuku going at him and kick him between his arms, making breaking his defense. As Nagito from behind said, "Cannon!" As he said, "Energy blast!" As he blast another energy at blast as All Might, sending him through a building. As after that, Izuku jumped by his side and pump fist together, as he said, "That was great from you, Nagito." As Nagito said, "Yeah, and you were so good at fighting." And in the camera's room, everyone's surprised by how Nagito and Izuku are working together so perfectly. As Kirishima said, "Wow, they are really good together, don't they?" As everyone agreed at that. as they see All Might standing again, as All Might in his mind said, shit, my time limit is gonna run off. I need to end this quickly. As All Might come in front of them and send another smash with his 15% of his power. As after that, Nagito using his shield block the attack, but it was enough to make him, go behind. As Izuku said, "Are you okay, Nagito?" As Nagito said, "Yeah, don't worry. My arm will not gonna break that easily. It's made out of a very special material." As Izuku said, "Yeah, alright." And after that, All Might said, "That's enough now, heroes. You have played enough. It's my turn to play." As All Might go at Nagito and punch him in his chest and throw him away. Nagito using his shield, putting it in front behind his back to, not getting hurt by the wall. As Izuku said, "Nagito!" But All Might come from behind and catch his arm and throw him away to the sky and then throw an air pressure at him. As he said, "Maybe you should focus on yourself more." And after that, Izuku said, "Shit, I need to see if Nagito okay." As he looking where Nagito is, but he's not there. And after that, Izuku said, "Where did Nagito go?" All Might from behind said, "Didn't I already told you to pay more attention to your surrounding?" As Izuku, using his arm tried to block the attack, but All Might managed to hit him and throw him away at a building. Izuku using full cowling start jumping left and right at All Might and hitting him rapidly. All Might didn't get even affected by it, as he said, "Ha ha ha ha. Are you trying to tickle me or something?" As Izuku said, "This will not gonna go if in my way if I didn't have some help from Nagito, but where is he?" As All Might said, "Well, looks like is Nagito not going to the out of the arena, because he doesn't see Nagito going to the gate." As he said, "Looks like you're alone right now, young Midoriya, and your partner has left you. What a tragedy." As everyone in the camera's room saying, "Where did Nagito go?" As they try to search for him in the cameras, but they don't see him. As Aizawa said, "How weird." As Izuku starts huffing and puffing, saying, "I can't give up just yet." As All Might said, "Don't you think that you already have done?" As All Might said, "Alright, that's enough." As he preparing to throw a smash and said, "Smash!" And when he throw it, Izuku managed to dodge it, but it's make the ground shake. And after that, he said, well, young Midoriya, looks like it's the end, huh?" As something from above fall on All Might's head, as it being a rock. As All Might said, "What the?" As he looking up, he see a half of a building was about to fall on his head. As he try, putting his hand together and said, "Shit!" And after that, the half building fall on his head. As everyone in the press, the camera's room said, "What the? What happened?" As after that, they see Nagito walking from, the rubbles. As he said, "Well, it was a good plan to get him here, Izuku, is that right?" As Izuku said, "Yeah, that was a good plan. Is that right? Isn't that right, Nagito?" As Nagito said, "Yeah. It was a good idea out of you, to make him hit me and then this suddenly disappeared while I destroyed the building." As Izuku said, "Yeah, well, I don't think that he will gonna stand up from this." And after that, All Might getting out of the rubble, as he, smoking, his body start to smoke. As Nagito and Izuku in their minds saying, "Shit, he will gonna get into his small might form right now. We need to defeat him so quickly." As Nagito immediately put his hand above his head and said, "Cannon rain!" As the you know the sky start to rain with a green energy blast. As Nagito putting Izuku close to him and using his his shield to protect them because his luck, he have a good luck, but Nagito might affected being, Izuku might get affected by the bad luck, as he just making sure to not get hurt, as All Might after that he fall on the ground and said, ugh, damn it, as Nagito said, come on Izuku, let's get out of here. And after that, Izuku and Nagito get out of the place as they win the fight, and after that All Might standing up and said, well, young Midoriya and young Nagito, you actually have done pretty well, and young Nagito, that was a great plan of you to use the building and throw it at me, but in a real fight against a real villain, you should not do that. As Nagito said, I understand, All Might. I was just trying to end this as fast as possible because, as he pointed at All Might steaming, as he said, yeah, thank you for that, I will leave. And after that they leave, everyone, shouting for Nagito and Izuku in the camera's room. As after that done, everyone get out of there, and Nagito saying goodbye to Izuku as he got a call on his phone, as he said, yes, Alfred? As Alfred said, Mr. Nagito, today looks like you have a meeting with the, what they call it, I forgot, the transporters, and on the news, you need to go into that place, that specific building at this specific time. As Nagito said, well, I will gonna meet you there. I mean, come on and take me please, so I can get my clothes, his suit. And after that, Nagito getting back to his mansion and wearing his white and black suit and wearing, in his left arm a glove to not show everyone his, robotic arm. As after that game, after that, Alfred putting, Nagito getting into the limousine as Alfred start, to drive, and after that they finally got into the place as Alfred said, well, Mr. Nagito, have a nice night. As Nagito said, well, thank you, Alfred. As Nagito opened the door, as it's like a big the red carpet on the ground, and the people from left to right giving some photos, as Nagito just waving with his left hand, smiling, as he said in his mind, well, this is too much. I'm not usually in this kind of situation because, not usually Nagito doesn't get into under the lights. The people know that he is the one that taking care of the future foundation, but he's not, under the lights that much. And after that, he got into the place as the transporter that's sitting, it's like a little bench with a couch on the left side and the right side, and things like that, as the transporter that's sitting on Nagito right side in front of him. He said, well, Mr. Komoeda, I'm happy that you got, find some time in your so filled, find some time to get here and let us ask you some questions. As Nagito said, well, it's my pleasure to be here. As class 1A are watching this from the dorm system because, or scratch that, they don't watch him from the dorm system. Everyone watching him from their own houses, as Izuku watching this live television. So live television. So as he said, come on Nagito, show them what you got. I will gonna have fun watching this. As we cut back into Nagito, as the transporter said, well, Mr. Nagito, we heard that you are a student in UA, which is this. We all know that this is the something that is actually true after we seen you in the sport festival. But may I ask you, why do you tried it to become a hero? As Nagito said, oh, so this is such an easy question, Mister. I was always, loving to fill people with hope. I was always seeing how villains filled this world with despair and always covered with darkness. And when I see All Might, I see the symbol of peace. I see hope itself, and I see someone that's able to make everyone feel relief just by looking at him. And that's why I trying to become a hero, to become like him. As he continues saying, I don't want the first place, to be the number one hero or the second or the top 10. I just want to be like him. Someone that when the people see him, they know that they are in a safe place and they are capable, they are now able to take a deep breath and say that their soul has been saved. As the transporter said, well, this is such a very honorable reason to become a hero, but we saw what happened with you in the sport festival, so we all know about your arm. As Nagito said, oh, yeah, don't worry about it, as he holding, his left arm, which is right now having a glove on it. As he said, I got a new one. Being the owner of the the future foundation company is such a having his own perks, have some perks coming with it, like putting your hands on the best gear that possible and things like that. And I got a new arm. As the transporter said, well, do you mind showing us your new arm? As Nagito said, well, my arm have, it's a weapon, so it's have something like laser and things like that. Is it okay for me to show it? As the transporter said, well, we don't see the wrong in it, because you are a hero and we don't, or at least a hero in training, and we trust that you will not gonna use it for something bad. As Nagito said, well, thank you. And after that, he taken off his, glove and lifting up his sleeve, revealing his whole arm. As he said, this is such a very complicated technology with the infinite amount of power to make me always go fighting for as long as I want. And it's have a four, shape to, or four forms to fight in. As he telling them about the power form, which is just for punching, the projectile form for shooting, and blade and things, and the shield. As he also showing all of these, as they got him a little target to shoot on and something to cut, and they cut a real pistol and start shooting at him to showing his shield. As the transporter said, well, this is such a great technology of yours, but we also saw two weird things. First of all, what do you say to Katsuki Bakugo, the one that blew up your arm? As Nagito said, I forgive him. As the transporter said, may I hear you again? I didn't hear you quite well. As Nagito said, I forgive him. I can't stay mad at him for the rest of my life. He's my classmate and I wish for him the best as much as I wish for my friends. And if I just stayed angry at him, I will gonna focus a lot on him and not being able to focus on my future. So I forgive him. I forgave him from a long time. As the transporter said, well, you have such a kind heart, Mr. Nagito. As Nagito said, thank you. You are flirting. Thank you. As the transporter said, well, for the other weird thing, we saw that in the sport festival, when your arm being cut off, you start bleeding, but with the pink blood. As Nagito said, oh, that's because of my quirk. Being lucky, like, I don't actually know why my blood is pink for. I mean, I don't. Is that something like if I saved a child and the child starts, seeing my blood, it's just pink so he doesn't get, you know, ta- what they call it, when the kid gets really scary out of the blood. As he said that, as the transporter said, well, that actually weird, but it's a good thing if you have saved the kid or something like that. As Nagito said, yeah, it's useful, but it's just a normal blood, it's nothing so special. My, blood type is O, so it's just like normal blood, but it's a different color. As the transporter said, well, right now we have another person that want to meet you. Do you want him to come in? As Nagit said, oh, let him come in. I would really love to meet the new faces. As after that the transporter said, well, you can come in, Mr. Yairuzu. As Nagito hearing this name, he immediately getting surprised, but he got hold of himself as he said in his mind, Yairuzu, what do you want from me now? As Mr. Yairuzu come into, the place, and with his daughter, Momo Yairuzu, as the transporter said, welcome, Mr. Yairuzu. We are happy that you actually accepted our invite for you here. As Mr. Yaroza said, oh, I'm so happy to be here, Mr. And well, hello, Mr. Nagito. As Nagito smile and shake the hand of Yaruzu, as he said, hello, Mr. Yaruzu, it's such a pleasure to meet you again. As he in his mind said, I will gonna cut off my arm after I come back to my mansion and put a new one. As after that, the transporter said, well, Mr. Yaruzu, may I ask what is your relationship with Mr. Nagito? As Mr. Yaruzu said, well, we're partners in a job. We are friends, you can say that. And I'm really impressed with Mr. Nagito abilities and you know uh, in what they call it, abilities and skills and getting holding on for his own company in such a young age, and even getting the first place in the companies in Japan. As the transporter said, yeah, that's right, Mr. The company Future Foundation is the number one in Japan right now. As Nagito said, well, thank you, Mr. Yaruzu, but it's not a big deal. I'm just trying to, help heroes by creating my, you know, support items. As Mr. Yaruzu said, but your support items are very special, Mr. Nagito. Even if someone have a quirk like a fire quirk and he has both of his arms being cut off, your support items may give him the ability to, give him a new arm, but even then, letting him use his fire out of his new arms. As Nagito said, yeah, it was hard to create this, but I managed to do it in the end. As the transporter said, and this is such a very great technology. May you tell us something about it, Mr. Nagito? As Nagito said, unfortunately, transporter, I can't. This is such a secret information. As the transporter said, well, that's understandable. As Mr. Yaruza said, well, Nagito, I want to ask you a question. As Nagito said, what is it, Mr. Uh, Mr. Yaruzu? As Yaruzu said, well, you see, Nagito, I think that if we work together, we can even become the first company in not only Japan but the world. As I think we should work together with my money and ability, and if we fused together our companies, we will gonna become such a great company in the future and become the number one. As Nagito said, well, I will think about it. As Mr. Yaruzu said, I'm not telling you to be in my company by, just a simple contract or something. I want something more stronger to hold on for our companies to become one. As he looking at, the crowd that are, sitting on the out of, the camera's view, as he looking at them and said, love. I want our company to be held by the love. You see, as Nagito said, what do you mean by this, Mr. Mr. Yaruzu? As Mr. Yaruzu said, well, you see, my daughter here is your classmate, Momo. I'm sure that you know her. As Momo looking at, Nagito, trying not to look in his eyes, as he said, yeah, I know Momo very well. I know her very, very well. As, Momo looking away, the people that are there, they, thinking that she's just hiding her face because she feel embarrassed. As Mr. Yaruzu said, well, in my house, she were always talking with me about how handsome you are and how strong and smart. As she's telling me that she would like to, to have you as her boyfriend. As everyone from the cloud, start to getting excited, saying, "Oh, so that's why she is hiding her face." As Nagito said, "What is this guy's all about?" As he said, "I wish for you to marry my daughter. She already agreed on that. I only need your agreement. And we can even, if you want, we can, may start with the things. Like, in the future, you can marry her when you finally become a pro hero or something like that." As he put, a little two rings on the table, as everyone said, "Marry her, marry her, marry her." As Nagito said, "You're such a dirty guy, aren't you, Mr. Yaruzu?" As he looking in Mr. Yaruzu, as he just smiling at Nagito. Mr. Yaruzu in his mind said, "Well, he doesn't have any other way to say no." As Nagito smiled and said, "Well, to be honest, I was prepared for something like this." As he taken out of his, out of his jacket a little box, as Momo looking at this, as she thinking in her mind, "Is he really?" But he opened it up, revealing that inside the box is a USB. As he said, "Mr. Transporter, may you put this, this USB have some words that I want everyone to hear, what is inside this USB. So can you put it on, the TV?" As the transporter said, "Right away, Mr. Nagito." And after that, they put it, the USB. As the transporter said, "Do you want me to play it?" As Nagito said, "Yes, please." And with the, the USB being played, they hear, "Father, I tried to do everything with him, but he just doesn't seem to get closer." As he continues saying, "Well, try anything with him. If you married him, we will gonna become the first company in the world. Try anything. Try to get him into your side and make him love you by any means necessary." As Momo said, "Yes, Dad." And after that, the USB ended, as everyone looking at Mr. Yaruzu and Momo. Momo looking at Nagito, which is right now just smiling, as he said, "Well, I will gonna refuse." And after that, Nagito stand up and start walking away out of the place, as everyone just looking at Momo Yaruzu and Mr. Yaruzu. And this is live televisions, and it's in front of millions of eyes. As Mr. Yaruzu said, "Damn it, did he..." Momo is just tearing up, saying, "I really loved you, I really loved you once. Why can't you just forgive me?" As, Nagito getting out, people, transporter getting around of him, and people that giving him some photos, as he just smiling and walking away with his hand in his pocket. As everyone, one of the transporters said, "Mr. Nagito, what was that? Is that was real?" As Nagito said, "Yeah, it was 100% real. It's a real conversation that happened between Mr. Yaruzu and his daughter." Now may you leave me because I want to get some sleep. And after that, Alfred opened the door of the limousine and Nagito get in as they leave. And this is gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what do you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say then. Severed was here.